Book lovers unite! I'm Demethius Jackson, and you're listening to the Chapter 1 podcast. The greatest stories ever written all begin with Chapter 1. In each episode, our guest authors will share their first chapters with you. Today in studio, we have former NFL player Dante Wesley, who's authored a book with his wife Renetta entitled F-A-C-T-S, Facts Uncensored. Dante was drafted in 2002 and played 9 years in the NFL, which included 2 Super Bowls for teams like the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. We've all heard the rumors of what it's like to be a professional athlete, constantly being in the spotlight and dealing with the temptations that come with it. In Dante and Renetta's book, they explain what it's really like. And it starts, almost forgot. I should probably warn everybody. About halfway through the reading, we had to temporarily switch to telephone. So you're going to notice a change in audio quality. There's nothing wrong with your speakers. But the rest of the episode was recorded in person. So here we go.
Fame and fortune are 2 things many people dream of, but what they don't dream about is the effort and focus required to attain this sort of highly desirable status in life. In addition to setting goals, one has to demonstrate dedication, determination, and drive to reach these feats. While the promise of an easy life commonly associated with wealth, coupled with the fanfare and adoration stemming from fame sounds enticing, in reality most things worthwhile in life are, in fact, not easy at all, and constantly being in the limelight can cause a person to go blind. These are important lessons Dante and Renetta Wesley have learned over the course of their marriage and in his professional football career. On the field of life, the couple has learned how to make game-winning plays together.
When Dante and Renetta first met, they were from 2 different worlds. Dante was accustomed to the urban life of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where he lived with his single mother and his brother. He was raised by the streets and at a very early age was introduced to hard living, including sex with multiple women. Renetta, on the other hand, grew up in a small hamlet called Gould, Arkansas, where her parents raised their young daughter and her 3 sisters with a Bible in one hand and a stick in the other. Her life consisted of going to church, school, and prayer. Dante and Renetta met while they were both students at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where he was a football star and a ladies' man while she was a serious student who wanted to follow in her mother's footsteps and become an educator. They met and their worlds collided. Eventually, over the objections of a jealous mother, they married. Dante was drafted into the National Football League, and Renetta assumed the role of a fiancé for a year, then a wife in the NFL, married to a man who had yet to release the temptations of loose women, drink, and wild living. While Dante desperately wanted to love Renetta, he could not shake the lifestyle that he had grown accustomed to, leaving his new wife at home while meeting other women at clubs, recklessly sleeping with them and lying to Renetta. The birth of their children and Renetta's deep belief in prayer was the only thing that saved their marriage. God gripped Dante's life, and he began to devote himself fully to his wife and his family. It was not easy, but it did take place. In the narrative that follows, Dante and Renetta share with readers their experiences, the ups and downs of their relationship while dating and married. It is written in an attempt to help others who are facing what they faced. It is an honest discussion between a husband and wife who were not perfect, but who believed in prayer and the goodness of God.
Here's the part of the show that I know you skip over, but we're going to do it anyway. I want to take this moment to share with you a few amazing things that I've discovered. If you're listening to this podcast, then I'm assuming you listen to podcasts in general. And if so, you really want to check out The Art of Charm, AOC with Jordan Harbinger. The Art of Charm brings together some of the best thought leaders, teachers, and exceptional individuals to teach you how to be a top performer in life, love, and at work. Imagine having a mix of experienced mentors teaching you their expertise, packing decades of research, testing, and tough lessons into a curriculum. That's what you get with AOC. I highly recommend this podcast for both men and women. I guarantee it will change your life. Be sure to listen to their show on iTunes or wherever podcasts are streamed. And for all of you aspiring writers out there, specifically in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, if you're looking to take your writing to the next level, then the DFW Writers Workshop is for you. The DFW Writers Workshop helps and encourages North Texas writers of all genres and experience levels to produce professional quality writing suitable for publication. I've personally been involved with the DFW Writers Workshop for over a year, and these guys are amazing. Their weekly Wednesday meetings are held in Euless, Texas, and they have not missed a Wednesday since they began in 1977. I'm talking sun, rain, snow, sleet, hail, holiday, doesn't matter. They are there. And if you want to take your writing to the next level, you should be there too. Get in touch with the DFW Writers Workshop at their website, dfwwritersworkshop.org. Once your writing has reached publication, it's a good idea to have an organization behind you. And what better organization than the Texas Association of Authors? Texas Authors, as it is often abbreviated, is the only organization in Texas whose focus is to promote authors within the great state of Texas itself. The association leverages the knowledge and expertise of many of its different authors to help promote others within the world of reading and writing. As a nonprofit organization, Texas Authors relies on strong relationships with individuals, other nonprofit organizations, and publishing companies to help establish a presence in both local and statewide events. Utilizing technology, social media, and the knowledge of its members, Texas Authors gives you a unique advantage within an already competitive marketplace. Learn more about the Texas Association of Authors on their website at books.txauthors.com. All right, I am sitting here with Dante Wesley. How are you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So let's just jump right into it because we do have a lot to talk about.
Okay.
Let's start with you telling us a little bit about your sports background and how it led you to writing this book.
Well, I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I played 9 years in the NFL, 7 years with the Carolina Panthers, 1 year with the Chicago Bears, and 1 year with the Detroit Lions. Fortunate enough to play in 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 38 with Carolina and Super Bowl 41 with Chicago Bears. So what really brought me into writing this book was more of the fact that I had a long NFL career, and the divorce rate is 75% in the NFL when it comes to players and wives staying together. So I felt like this would be an inspiration and also a help to try to keep that man of marriage together, because a lot of guys be put in situations and they never work out for the best. And I'm here just to try to, write a book and write something to be able to help these guys out.
Okay, one thing I have to ask since I have you here that I know everybody is probably wanting to know.
Yeah.
What in the world is it like to play in a Super Bowl, to actually be there?
Okay, yes. Playing the Super Bowl is amazing. I mean, it's almost like you at a concert, like you on a stage getting ready to perform, which you really are getting ready to perform. The lights are brighter. I mean, everything means something. Every play counts. My first year playing with Carolina was more exciting than the second year. The first year, I was just happy just to be there. Even though we lost to the Patriots, I wanted to win. But when I made it there again with Chicago, I really did want to win that game. So it's a great opportunity that not too many people in the world can say they had a chance to play in.
Yeah, I can't even conceive just standing there on the field. I mean, being on the field, regular season is one thing, but actually being there in the big game, I don't even think words can describe.
I mean, it's amazing because majority of the time you're looking at fans, and it's just regular fans. But in the Super Bowl, I mean, you can have Denzel Washington sitting behind you, Bruce Willis. I mean, you see actors, you see singers, you see entertainers sitting there watching you play. You want to say it's a dream come true because, I never thought, growing up in my life that I'd be playing in the Super Bowl.
So your book gives incredible, or rather uncensored, insight into a celebrity relationship. What would you say it's a difference between a celebrity relationship and, regular relationships?
What I would say is the obstacles that you have to face in life. With a regular marriage, it still can be hard. I mean, that can still be a hard situation. But when you have everything thrown at you, I mean, when you have women, when you have money, when you have notoriety, that's a difference being in a professional marriage. So it makes our relationship a little bit harder because it's a lot going on.
It feels as if you're being pulled into multiple directions. Or
you're being pulled into a lot of directions because, one side pulling you over here, the other side pulling you over here. You're trying to do right, but wrong is always present. It's like you fighting a battle constantly within your mind and within yourself.
Rarely does the general public ever get a true perspective into a celebrity relationship. It's either Hollywood rumors or what you see in the media. What prompted you and Renetta to discuss your relationship openly?
What really started that we try to live a good life and we try to be examples for our children and to other people. And a lot of people will come ask us for advice. And so we would always help couples out, try to steer them in the right direction, and try to just be that crutch that they can lean on. If they need any help, we try to be there for them. We try to give them the right advice, help them out. And so we got to the point that we was like, you know what, why don't we write a book? Because with that divorce rate, it's so high, you know, and a lot of guys, they can marry for the wrong reason. It could be a high school sweetheart, they feel obligated, like they got to marry him, or a person can be pregnant and they feel like, you know, I have to marry this person. When they in a situation like that, it's not going to last that long. You can try to keep this marriage together, but if you marry for the wrong reason, it's not going to be prosperous for a long time. And so we try to go in depth with a couple and just try to talk and try to pull the strengths out of their marriage and try to just keep them together. We did that plenty of times. I mean, women confide in my wife and guys confide in me. And so it got to the point that we was like, you know, we can write a book to really try to explain our life and show the things we went through in life and how we overcame it. People always want to say, is it a tell-all book? No, it's not a tell-all book. It's more of an inspirational book because we actually put our life out there for the public to see and see like, hey, after going through all this, we still found a way to make it and stay together.
So helping others based on your
helping
own
others, yeah.
experience.
And another thing is just so many women are misled by thinking that, hey, you know, I can get a football player or get an NBA player, whoever it may be, and I can get married, have all this money, have all this, and it won't be no problem. We can live happily ever after. But it's never like that. You don't think about him gone all the time. You don't think about the other women. You don't think about just family, you know, mother-in-laws. You don't think about all of that. And then once you get married, you realize like, man, this ain't really what I signed up for.
What are some of the things that you both went through?
One thing was with me, I was raised by a single parent mother, and I was more, you want to say, spoiled to where she kind of kept me sheltered. She didn't want me to get married. She didn't trust no other woman.
Sound like my mom.
You know, and mothers can be a major problem. And it's not only me. The stuff I wrote about in my book is over research, talking with other guys. A lot of moms are like that, especially when they the only one that raised you up. They feel like you taking my baby away. I don't want you with nobody. You take care of your mama. You live with me. That's all you need to do. You know, my mom was rough on my wife because she just didn't approve of her. For the simple fact, hey, I'm an NFL player. You don't need anybody. You know, you can go out and get you an entertainer, get you a singer, get you an actor. She wanted to choose for me, but she know I'm gonna make my own decision. And so that's one thing. Then you have the partying. When you're playing football, I mean, it's a lot of parties. It's a lot of other women. I mean, you constantly out there in the streets doing your thing. You want to say cheating and everything else because women are there. My wife looked nice, but there's other nice women out there, and a lot of stuff pull you to that. Like I said, the title of the book is Facts Uncensored, but it talks about the faith part of it, to where I had to have faith in Christ to keep myself level, to stay with my wife. My wife had to also have faith to even stay with me. Because, I mean, I tell all the time, you know, she had every right to leave me back then. She had every right to divorce me because I was out in them streets acting up. But faith makes a major part of that, and communication, the faith, communication, trust, that part of it right there was major when it comes to trying to stay together.
You and Renetta were from two completely different planets. Okay, so you were a star athlete in college, and she was an all-star student from a strict Christian household.
Yeah.
How in the world did you two even become a couple in the first place?
You know what, man? It's crazy because I was playing with the Arkansas Razorbacks, and I transferred back to Arkansas Pine Bluff. And so when I met her, I mean, she gave me the cold shoulder. She kind of didn't say too much to me. You know, I had to really figure her out. And she was a country girl, raised in a solid family, a strong Christian type family, mom and dad. You know, their high school was only, the graduating class was like only 14 people. And the town itself was only 1,200 people.
Wow.
So she knew. So imagine here I am. I'm coming from a city that got 60,000 people. She got only 1,500. And I was more of a guy that's just lived my life the way I did. My mom was the only one that raised me up, and I had a brother also, and we just lived the way we wanted to live. What I mainly liked about her, she cared a lot about me, even when she didn't even know anything. What got me was when I did my pro day at my school before I even got drafted. You know, I ran like a 4.3 and a 4. I mean, I did exceptionally well. She had no expression because she didn't even know what I'd done. She just sitting there like, hey, I hope you did well. I don't know. You know, and people asking her like.
No frame of reference, huh?
Yeah. People asking her like, are you happy for him? She like, what did he do? I don't know what he done, you know. And so, man, it was just a difference, man. It's like she was a total different person, a whole different mind that I was used to dealing with. I'm used to dealing with, you know, girls that know a whole lot, that got a plan within a plan. So, like I said, she cared more about me. It wasn't about nothing about football. And she'll tell you if she was right here, she'll tell you that, hey, I was more concerned about Dante, make sure Dante is right before I was worried about anything else.
So God in prayer is a major part, not only in the book, but also within your marriage. Were you spiritual in any way before becoming involved with Renetta, or was it something you grew into?
I was always spiritual too. I was raised up my whole life in church. I always believed in prayer and I always believed in Christ. So what I look at what Renetta brought to me, she kind of reactivated that in me. Just say I was Church of God in Christ. She was Pentecostal. If anybody know religion, Pentecostal are the girls that don't wear pants. They don't wear makeup, earrings. I mean, they are very, very strict. And so she kind of reactivated that spark of getting closer to God in me, and I think that was a major part of it, because all the other girls I have been with in the past, they never really looked at Christ in that situation. They might have been in church, but they didn't really focus in on me like, hey, you need to get yourself together. One episode was when I got drafted, man. I lived in Charlotte for just a couple of months, and I knew where every club was, I knew where every mall was, I knew everything was. And I talk to Renetta, we talk every day. And then Renetta dawned on me one day. She said, you know what? She said, you know where all these places at, but have you found your church home yet? And so that kind of made me shut up. And I said, you know what? You exactly right. She said, you forget what got you there.
She called you out.
She called me out. She said, you forgetting what got you there now. So when we got the phone, I looked in the phone books and where I was staying, and I found a church close by where I was staying. And I stayed at that church my whole 7 years in Carolina. That was the difference of what she brought to me. When I was getting off track, she put me back on track. Before I got drafted and I was flying to different teams, working out, doing all this, she was like, hey, you need to get baptized again. You need to, rededicate your life to Christ, so you don't know what you're finna get ready and face. And that kind of is unique in a person to be able to tell a guy that. She was more concerned about my soul and more concerned about my well-being than worried about football. She looked at a bigger picture of something I didn't look at. She looked at a whole different picture. We had two different minds. That's what I look at with the faith part. She had a lot of faith, because she didn't have to be that way. She could have been like anybody else. I'll do your thing, In fact, Renetta was like strong in faith than my mom was, when it come to getting myself together. My mom was more concerned about, hey, enjoy yourself, play football, this and that. But Renetta looked at me in a whole different eye than anybody else did. She always say, I'm my angel. Yeah, you probably is an angel. She my angel,
So what do you want readers to take away from your story and from your experiences?
What I want readers to take away is look at the ups and downs that I went through in my marriage. And let's put it like this. The ups and downs we went through in our marriage, anybody can overcome it. If you have faith in Christ, Christ can help you overcome a lot. The examples that I have in the book, talking about the things I went through, pay attention to yourself. Understand everybody have flaws. No woman is perfect. No man is perfect. But for a man or a woman to be able to sit back and kind of see where they're going wrong at, that's a major part in life. You kind of have to analyze yourself. In the book, I broke everything down to where I kind of had to test myself, trial and error myself, and see where am I falling short at. A lot of guys get caught up in this misperception thinking that I can find a perfect woman. You'll never be able to find a perfect woman. Same thing with a woman looking for a man. You will never be able to find a perfect man. It's always a flaw in everybody. I don't care if it's Beyonce. I don't care whoever it may be. It's a flaw in everybody. You just got to figure out, can you deal with it, whatever it is. So what I look at with the book is that I express my flaws within myself and how I overcame my problem. And Renetta expressed herself and how she overcame it. She overcame a lot with praying, and her mom. Her mom helped her overcome a whole lot. Whereas with me, I had to realize the fact that, hey, I need her with me. I can get off track at times, but I need her on my side to be able to keep me in line. So the book talks about the ups and downs in relationships and how you can overcome it. Many readers that we have known that have read the book love the book. It's an easy read. It's not super long. I mean, it's exciting because it comes to keep your mind wondering what's going to happen next. It goes from my early childhood to now. It's a real good read. You'll really like it. At the end of the book, it have 30 sayings, and Renetta explained 30 sayings that it's almost like you can apply to your everyday life. And it's for women. I mean, it's like, hey, kiss your husband, fix his plate. It's small little things that a woman can read and say, man, you know what? I used to do that, but I'm not doing that. Well, maybe I need to do this. Renetta can fix my plate, fix me something to eat. And her sister's like, nah, I ain't fixing my husband something. Like, it's so simple. The simplest thing, you don't realize the smallest little things can help out so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any relationship advice for, other young athletes that are coming up in the spotlight, or just for folks in general?
Make sure the person that you with is for you. It's a lot of situations. Make sure you analyze the whole situation. Look at how you got with that person. Look at the motive of that person. Think about if you take everything away from you, would that person still be with you? A lot of guys get in a situation, I mean, you can tell this girl is on it with this guy just because who he is and he got money. You know, soon as the money gone, they gone. You know, you got girls out there that's just built for that. That's all they want to do. Be with you while you got it, and when it's over, it's gone. So, yeah, I have plenty of advice for guys, man. Every situation is unique. Don't everybody go through the same situation, but don't put yourself in a situation that you know you're not going to be happy in. One thing I really look at myself is I'm going to be happy with whatever decision I make, I'm going to make sure I'm happy. You know, it's too much out there. It's too much out there just to be playing around. If you want to be with the person, be with them. If you don't waste their time.
Okay, so where can readers find you online?
You can go to factsuncensored.com. That's the website. It's facts, F-A-C-T-S, uncensored. Spell the word uncensored.com. You can get the book on that. Also, I got Twitter. The Twitter is Dante Renetta Wesley. That's my Twitter account. Instagram is Dante Renetta Wesley. Also, you can go to the email, DanteRenettaWesley@gmail.com.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dante. It was great having you on the show today.
I really enjoyed this, man. I really appreciate it.
And
you know what? You're the first one that I actually just sit down and just been able to just tell you everything. You know, majority of stuff is in the book, but I've never had a chance to really sit down and tell anybody just totally how I feel about a lot of stuff. But you're the first one.
Well, let me give you some advice.
Yeah.
Watch out for the book groupies.
I got you. Because
they are out there.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right. Give my best to Renetta, and we'll
Thanks,
talk to you again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And with that, we'll wrap up another episode. The purpose of the Chapter 1 podcast is to encourage reading by exposing listeners to the multitude of authors and books that are out there. And in keeping with that purpose, I'm going to be introducing a new segment to the show called Words on the Street. I'll be walking aimlessly around the city of Dallas with a microphone and asking people what they're reading. It's a great way to get some audience participation and a great way to expose you all to even more books. So stay tuned because we have a lot more to offer. Till next time.